And you've received congregation mail, correct?
I have.
Guido, have you stopped your QuickTime and saved it?
I have.
Okay.
What are we going to billboard for this show? We
We
didn't talk about the video games. We didn't get to people playing video
didn't
games.
talk about try this at home either. So I want to talk about that.
I'm starting my new recording. And stream is live in case you didn't see that, Guido.
Thank you.
Are we waiting for Matt or are we going to roll?
We'll wait for Matt.
That's
Yeah, we can talk about the pool stuff.
I'm still sitting on my my change in libertarianism.
What do you mean?
Hello, Matt. Oh, he's frozen again already.
Let's see if we can get him before we go.
quick time.
I mean, in terms of where we've been wrestling with libertarianism and kind of where I've landed on it.
Where do you land?
I no longer see it as a political movement, but as a moral movement.
Yeah, the problem is the moral dependence on others, I think. People just don't seem to get it. Oh, did you see the Atlantic article? Maybe Trump isn't lying. He's stupid.
Yeah, I did. We can talk about that. I think that's true.
Yeah, even though we talk about cock up before conspiracy all the time, it hadn't actually occurred to me that he just might not know.
I want to get Matt in this. We can't do anything, right? He's there alone. Oh, I have to start my QuickTime.
Hello?
Yep,
Am I back?
you are.
Oh, that's so frustrating because I'm not freezing and going away on my end. So I'm hearing and seeing everything like I'm not gone. So I don't know when I'm gone.
Ooh, that's weird. Yeah, mine was behaving badly that show as well.
Have you restarted at this point?
We started my whole computer.
Yeah.
Not yet. I did right before the first one. Should I do that again?
Well, if it happens again, not
All right.
now, but if it happens again, that's Riverside's kind of picky.
My QuickTime is rolling. Everybody's QuickTime rolling?
Quick time's rolling.
And your last one saved, yes, Matt?
Yeah, my last one successfully saved to the drive.
Well, let us go then.
This is Penn Sunday School, and to our listening ears, all nature sings and round us rings the music of the spheres. This is Penn Sunday School.
Brothers, sisters, and siblings, welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Gillette. My name is Michael Guido, and Matt Donnelly, Ready Rich, Fire Broadcasting from in Las Vegas. And is watching people play video games. And their show, Try This at Home, aired. If you are male, here is Preach Love. Your Penn Gillette.
Here I am preaching love right here. How y'all doing now? I billboarded this last time, Matt Donnelly. You took your family on a hike?
I did. Somehow I was forced to trade places with Michael Guido and go on a hike.
Whose idea was this?
My wife's. But it is amazing. I literally live near, like I've always gone to Lake Mead, but gone to the Hoover Dam area side. And I've never just driven straight out my own backyard, kind of Henderson, just right out to Lake Mead. That way, where the whole huge giant national park is. And my wife and I were driving through there and just embarrassed that we'd lived in Henderson for 12 years and had no idea, like the most beautiful park
It's fantastic.
with like rocks and mountains and stuff we've never seen. Like crazy Martian like locations. We're just a half hour from our house, and we never went. And then there's a spring there. There's a Rogers Spring, and we're told you can get in there, and there's healing waters and minerals, according to Gwyneth Paltrow. And
Did you steam your wife's vagina?
I did. We did a little steaming because, I wanted to regulate her period. And that's just a scientific fact.
Sure.
So we get to Rogers Spring, and it is like the size of like a master bedroom. It is a tiny little pond there. And then below there's a little maybe a 5-foot waterfall into a couple little basins there, and that's the basins where you can kind of get in there. And my kids are excited. You can go into the water. You're not supposed to go up to your nose, which I believe is an amoeba warning.
I am so glad to hear you say that. I've been all week going, I should tell Matt, but I can't. Maybe he's killed his children.
I mean, they've been acting differently.
It's been awful. The whole day I've been, should I tell this about Matt? Oh, I hope he read the sign.
It's weird, but even knowing about amoebas is still just number 2 on the microscopic level of things that could kill my children. So we're willing to take that risk, I guess. And we read the sign.
So
and
they go up your nose, but not your mouth, Godot?
Right. No, up your nose, through the blood-brain barrier into your brain.
And then they kill you?
And then they kill you, yes.
With a rubber hose.
But it's a freak thing, right? It's not like it's like, oops.
It's a freak thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't even happen very often, but it's bad when it does.
And so my kids are getting there. We're trying to get their feet in. That would be like, waist high for them, knee high for whatever. And I go in and I just fall in this tiny little basin, like a kid pool. I slip and just scrape up my entire back and cut my hand open, bleeding all over the place. So on my wife's adorable photos of our nice hike, it's me constantly clenching my hand so I'm not dripping blood all over everything in the photo. And then we go to take a walk, and I got like a palm frond in my toenail, in between my toe and nail. And I'm like, I am just not meant to go outdoors and do outdoorsy things.
This is all explained in one word.
Yeah.
Jersey.
Yeah. If you want me to win an arm wrestling contest and throw, play skee ball, whatever you need me to do.
Sing Sweet Caroline. You're fully prepared.
Put on enough sunblock to open up the top of the IROC Z. I'm here for you. I'm ready for these environments.
Fuely heads and a hearse on the floor. You're covered.
When we go to the beach, it's a very big place. It's a very big thing to go to. Very approachable. No terrain to navigate.
And there's a boardwalk.
Yeah, there's a boardwalk.
Where you can buy food.
Yes. Yeah.
Once again, what is my advice? Never go anywhere that money doesn't matter.
I was roped into the adorableness of the spring, but you're absolutely right.
Did money matter there?
No.
Stay away.
I could not bribe those amoebas to stay away from my children's noses.
You could not tell the pond, listen, there's a Benjamin in it if I don't fall on my ass and get cut up, okay?
I was like, look, tiny fish. I just got a stimulus check from the government, okay? I'm flush.
We can make a deal, tiny fish. As a matter of fact, in Jersey, there's a guy named Tiny Fish you can make a deal with. It costs you more than a C note, but you can make a deal with Tiny Fish.
I just things I would never do if I didn't have children. And then, trying to be like, of course it's okay. Let's go. Come on. This is exciting. We drove all the way here. And then boom, I just leave totally injured.
It's a long drive, too.
Yeah. But I did not document any of the mishaps for social media. We went total PR on it. It was just all.
I was going to say, it was so sweet. Your videos and posts were so nice.
Yeah. So if you see this post, it's just me and my kids in a basin smiling. I am bleeding like crazy out of my right hand.
and scaring the fuck out of Godot for the amoebas. Because it's too late. There's no point in me telling you.
Are there signs that say there are amoebas here?
Yeah, I mean, if it's as dangerous as Godot is saying, there's one modest sign. It's not like
not much.
No, it's near like a small area of the place where you wouldn't go. They need it near the basins because that's where you'll go in. The actual big mucky pond that's gross is which it feels gross on your feet. That's where the sign is.
That's what the sign is, yeah. And so when you're in the other spot, I was like, oh, he probably went by those signs.
It sure would be funny, though, if you were so careful during this lockdown and then died of an amoeba in your brain.
Totally, yeah. Wash his hands 10 times a day. Amoeba brain. You got him.
Yeah, some people get it. The nasal wash thing that you do? Some people get amoebas in their brain using that device.
Oh, that's like putting a gun in your mouth. They're just straight up committing suicide.
I do use tap water, too, sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, tap water in Louisiana sometimes has amoebas in it.
Yeah, but I don't think in Vegas tap water has.
I don't think so.
Let's go with that.
But the salt, I mean, I know it's not a danger around salt water, but would the actual salt itself affect the amoeba?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would think so.
All right. Well, then I'll keep doing the saline flushes.
Yeah.
I like to call that nasal douche.
Yeah, I'll keep douching my nose.
And soon Gwyneth Paltrow will put the nose and the vagina together.
We haven't explained any of that. This week I drove by a place that was Hoo-Ha Vaginal Steaming.
Oh, the name of the business was Hoo-Ha?
Yeah,
Hoo-Ha was the name of the
it is
business.
not Godot's editorializing.
It was someone went to their uncle for the investment money, and he was like, "Only if I can name it."
It's right next door to Hot and Juicy.
Yeah. Well,
which is a crawfish place.
Okay, so Hoo-Ha Vaginal Steaming opened up in Vegas.
Yeah,
and it's open now.
Yeah,
it's essential.
Yeah.
It's essential.
I don't know. I don't know that it's open now.
People who would risk getting COVID-19 to have their vagina steamed.
Well, you know how it is. You need it. You need it.
I suppose. But Gwyneth Paltrow says this is what one does with one's vagina. You get herbs and spices steamed up there. She says it's an ancient practice. So,
an ancient practice.
Is it Kentucky Fried Chicken?
I think so.
How ancient?
11 herbs and spices.
How ancient is the practice? Are there hieroglyphics of people getting their vaginas steamed, or
that's the way all hieroglyphics look to me.
Yeah. That is open to interpretation. I'm not sure if he's smoking her or maybe steaming her vagina. I don't know.
How many women, even those who are into the Gwyneth Paltrow herbal whatever, would read the sign hoo-ha and be like, "Yep, they're taking this seriously. They have the medical goods."
I think it was Tiny Fish who named it.
You're all wrong. It's Dr. Hoo-Ha. It's his actual name.
Dr. Tiny Fish invested in this.
Now, we are 4 men, at this podcast. So if you are a woman who believes in the benefits of vaginal steaming, please write us. questionpen@gmail.com.
And send pictures.
Pre and post.
Let us be the judge of that. So I told you before that Z wanted me to watch Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
And I watched it and had a wonderful time with him. And then Moxie wants me to watch. Do you know these Let's Play videos? You must know them, right? Ready?
No.
Let's Play videos are this brand new art form. I mean, brand new being a decade, but it's a new art form that wasn't around when we were children. That a person plays a video game while they sit up in the corner. You see their face in a microphone, and then you see them play the game, and they talk all the way through it while they're playing the game.
Right.
And the term for this is Let's Play, because that's what a lot of them say. And she has several of these guys that she just loves. I mean, it's like, to her, it's like Hendrix and Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Markiplier is one of them, but also Jacksepticeye. You know Septiceye?
Yeah.
Jacksepticeye, who's Irish, and whose real name is Sean something. Of course, he's Irish.
Yeah.
And he is playing this game called Detroit Become Human, which is about androids. And we've watched, I guess, 2.5 hours now. And he sits up in the corner of the screen, and you see his face as he plays a video game.
Right.
Right.
And it's really, really, it's a wonderful form, because the guy's got a stream of consciousness, free-floating monologue that's on top of an adventure game that he is kind of sort of critiquing and kind of sort of talking about himself while he does it, and kind of sort of talking about morality and politics at the same time, you know? Like,
Well, a lot of kids are getting their politics, perspectives, their takes or their angles or whatever from these channels.
yeah. And he says, it says here in the article that androids are having to make moral choices. That's a problem with self-driving cars. And he's playing the whole thing while talking about it. This is talking about hive collapse. Well, hive collapse in the bees, and he goes on for a long time because he's playing the game. And it really is, it's not exactly like playing the game with a friend of yours.
Right.
It's not exactly like a monologue, but it's somewhere in between. And I got to tell you, you don't have to be a child to enjoy it. I thought it was pretty fascinating. And
What did you enjoy more, watching those videos, Let's Play videos, or Parks and Recreation?
Well, Parks and Recreation has more pure, raw skill. I mean,
Right.
These are people better at what they're doing than anyone I've ever seen.
Right.
This is like watching the Olympics, how good Amy Poehler is.
Yeah.
I mean, every gesture, every word, everything, perfect. I mean, I can't even judge the overall idea of Parks and Recreation because everyone is so skilled.
Yeah.
I mean, they're crazy good, crazy good. So the Jacksepticeye thing is freer and looser, and you don't say, "Wow, this guy's better at this than anything I've ever seen."
Right.
But he's good, and he's able to play the game while doing it, and he knows the level of, when you do like what I did, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and Jeopardy, which who won on the show that I did? Oh, that was me. Yeah.
You did, Penn.
And the other shows, they tell you. I mean, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? They congratulated me in that I show my work better than anyone. They just thought it was great how I said, "Here's what I'm thinking." And when I even did that Know the Lyrics show with,
Right.
I show a lot of my work. Well, that's the skill that's required here. He says very much so, "This guy's bothering me. I think he could be dangerous. I'm going to go over and check. Well, what part of him should I check?" He does that all the way through, which is very, very important to keep that going while you're doing it. And I will tell you, I liked it much more than playing games.
Oh, interesting.
And these guys who do this are very attractive. They're good looking. good voices, and so they are.
All right. I won't start making these videos. Jesus.
And so my daughter's really, she's really attached to these people who do this, and they're very, very good, and she's very into it. I really liked watching with her. Really liked watching with her. Now, what are you going to say, Reddy?
I have an embarrassing story to tell,
Okay, let's hear it.
and I'll connect the dots afterwards.
Okay.
It's going to seem out of the blue. I believe I was 10 years old, and back then there was no such thing as a Comic-Con or a Gen Con or anything like that, and celebrities would go for charity events to the commons areas at local malls. So like the cast of Star Trek would come out and sign autographs, and they would do it as a fundraiser for some local charity. Sesame Street was doing that at my local mall, and my parents said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I said, "I think I'm a little old for it." And they said, "Well, you like the Star Trek one, we should go." So they took me. And during the Sesame Street presentation, they said, "Who doesn't know the alphabet song?" And I said, "I don't." Because I didn't know that was the name of the song. So every kid half my age turned around and looked at me like I was a crazy person. And that's what I'm feeling right now when you tell me what play videos are, because we're on Twitch. We're on a gaming format. And I just didn't know that was the name of that video.
Let's Play. They're called Let's Play. And it's a great thing. When people used to appear in malls and stores and stuff, famous people, I always think of what I believe is the funniest thing Teller ever said. We were working in my apartment in New York, and the New York Times was open on my coffee table, and it said Mrs. Fields was appearing at Macy's. So Teller and I said, "We're done working for the day. Let's go to Macy's and meet Mrs. Fields." So we were on Broadway at the time, and we went to Macy's, and we stood in line for 25 minutes to meet Mrs. Fields. And we got up to Mrs. Fields, and Teller said, "Are you the real Mrs. Fields, or are you like Santa Claus? And there's a different Mrs. Fields in every Macy's." And she answered him honestly, "I'm the real Mrs. Fields." And we got a free cookie and an autograph, and we left. One of my favorite afternoons with Teller. I had just a great time.
And Mrs. Fields is a fine
She is.
person.
You know her?
Yes, I've met her a couple of times. Yeah,
The real Mrs.
she used to come. The real Mrs. Fields used to come to the Lance Burton show every now and then, and she would always bring a box of warm cookies, even after she had sold the franchise. She would go to a Mrs. Fields and buy them and bring them anyway.
Well, Lincoln, who owns the Krispy Kremes here in Vegas, he always brings. You can never be around Lincoln that he doesn't have 2 dozen donuts to give you.
They had a give out this week for the graduating class. They had 20 donuts, shaped 2020 donuts, and they'd give you a dozen of them. And my daughter and I went down there, and there was about a 4-hour line.
That's like a comfortable thing. I don't have a thing where like I can always just bring the blank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every time I go to someone's house, do I bring wine? Do I bring flowers? Do I bring something? What is it? I mean,
You bring the funny.
I'm not going. I just show up, go ta-da! Hi guys, life of the party. It's gotta be nice to have.
Let me show you this video of my kid. Let me show you the video I have of my kid in a sombrero.
So, Try This at Home was on,
Yes.
and you all
And it was great.
watched it.
Really enjoyed it. Very, very good.
Yeah. I watched it on the CW. But I was frustrated. So if anyone's out there, they might have shared my frustration. It did not appear on the app the day of. It appeared on the app the next day, and it was confusing because I wasn't sure it was going to appear under the Fool Us thing. If you cut cords, on cable or whatever, it was just the normal thing. But if you're a cord cutter and you have the CW app, you had to wait 24 hours for it to show up on the app, and it did show up under the Fool Us tab, because even though it's a show of a different name.
Did you like that last trick with Al and Dakota?
Yes.
Yeah,
Isn't that a nice trick?
really nice.
Yeah.
Really.
And everything is there and available for you right there. We didn't do any. There's no pre-show work. There's no nothing. The deck is legit. Everything's legit.
I know I wanted to do it because I was like, wait a minute. I was a little confused because at first I thought I was onto it, and then I was not onto it at all. I'm still very much an idiot when it comes to deciphering magic.
Yeah. Well, this is a good trick that we invented. And is there any two people in the world more adorable than Al and Dakota Fanning?
No.
Not at all. They could no.
And like you wondered if they were going to be like when Eli and Peyton Manning get together for commercials and stuff, there is like a real brotherness that happens that you're like, oh, it is authentic. They really do know each other. That's great. You know, when you have two sisters in show business, you wonder how they're going to be when they're actually around each other. And the fact that like they were so sisterly that you drop the fame immediately. That you're just dealing with two like adorable people.
Yeah, they're
just
just
really nice.
They're wonderful. And I love when they say, could we possibly be on Fool Us ever live? Yeah, you could.
Let me talk to. Yep, it's good. I talked to whoever I need to talk to.
And you like Matt King? Matt King did a nice job.
Love Mac. Well, let's just say first of all that an episode of Fool Us, which normally takes up an hour of television time, is normally 4 magicians and you guys doing one trick. What I was laughing at watching this was like the amount of fucking magicians, the amount of tricks it takes to fill up an hour of television without a studio audience is astounding.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you had like 25 magicians on this show,
and eating material like you wouldn't believe. And we had the sheep thieves.
Yeah.
Which we've got for this next show. This week we're shooting another one of these, which I think they're calling Try This at Home 2, TOO.
Oh.
Electric Boogaloo. And we are showing.
What happens in COVID times, you can't have long meetings about titles. So.
We're having a lot of people did the tricks and sent them into us.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, nice.
We got cute children doing sheep thieves and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Good. Yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, I want to
Really
teach sheep thieves to my kid.
We've also got another teller pool bit. We had something right in here.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. My wife said the same thing that this letter says.
Jeff Elliott or Elliott Jeff, we don't know which. What's the deal with the weird pool teller has? I'm not a pool aficionado, but I've been in quite a few, and I've never seen venting or whatever was going on behind him.
Teller has a complicated
It's
pool.
a complicated pool. And now the filter is filled with rubber ducks, rubber doves, because he's producing rubber doves in the new one. And sometimes they get away from him, the foam ones, and he finds them in his filter.
Yeah.
Teller does not have a normal pool. Teller has a endless pool. So Teller has what looks like a rather largish hot tub with a huge like fan thing at one end of it that blows water at a speed that allows him to swim against it. And he does a 20-minute swim a day against the current. He's been doing that for 25 years. He gets nowhere. You just turn it on, and swim against it. As a matter of fact, if you saw Billions 2 weeks ago, you see, what is the name of the short-haired, non-binary person?
I don't know the show that well.
Anyway, they get out of a lap pool. I mean, an endless pool like Teller. So Teller sits with a workout weight on his lap and a snorkel at the bottom of his pool and does magic for hours. And the nightmare of this is that nobody was there. There were no grown-ups, no adults. There was a camera and 2 lights and Teller. Teller sent us that routine that you saw, and the producers and I all said, "This is great," and signed off on it. Then he sent another 4. Then he sent another 5. Then he sent another 3. Then he sent one shot at night with artificial lights. Then he sent one shot during the day with sunlight. Then he sent one shot during the day with artificial lights and sunlight. And he sent 2 more. We okayed every single one he sent us. We complimented every single one he sent us. And then when we were all done with the whole show, he did 3 more and sent those.
Teller needs an Instagram account.
So this time he's doing another one in his pool. And he's also doing spoon theater, where he's been working on tricks with spoons representing Penn and Teller, dancing around.
Ah.
So I don't know if that'll make it. But we actually did more bits than we needed. So some of the bits we did for the last show are going right into this one.
Well, that's great.
The thankful levitation is going to this one and all of those. And we had Mac King teach a trick last time. This time we have Piff the Magic Dragon teaching a trick.
Oh, good.
So that'll be nice. And we have a incredible trick from Aussie Wind,
Oh, great.
Good.
who is so good. He works with David Blaine a lot. One of the greatest magicians of the world. And
Crushed on the Fool Us Christmas special. If you haven't seen it, go look up Ozzy Wynn's routine there.
on this show coming up, which is going to be in June,
Yeah.
it's amazing how good it is. It's all sleight of hand. It's all one take. And it is some of the most amazing stuff I've ever seen. We saw what he sent, and we had a little comment on the way he started at the beginning. Like when he says, "Hi, Penn and Teller," we want him to say something slightly different to get us into a segue from the bit before it. He informed us that that casual perfect take was 200 takes. And that to get it to look right, he took apart his whole apartment and relit everything and moved all the tables around. And that took him hours and hours. And then he did 200 takes.
Oh, my God.
So Ozzy's answer to us was, no. You can show this just the way it is, or you can all go fuck yourself. And we said, you know something, Ozzy? This looked really good to us. We're just going to show.
Thanks.
So we also had Jeff J. Pomeroy, who wrote to thank me because I did a cameo. I talked about this before. I did a cameo talking his wife out of Feng Shui. He sent me to cameo.com. He said, "We are setting up our bedroom. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. We have a great view. My wife wants to Feng Shui it, which ruins the whole way I'm laying out the bedroom, or maybe he's building the bedroom. And please talk her out of it." So I did like a 3 or 4 minute cameo where I told the story of us doing Feng Shui on bullshit, laid it all out, and he said that I absolutely nailed it in the cameo, and his wife has agreed to not do Feng Shui and do it the way he wanted it. And he wanted to thank me. And he says he will get another cameo from me as soon as his wife needs to be straightened out again. So we love Jay Pomeroy. What's this really long one
It is-
here, about cynicism? Anyway, we'll get back to that. What are you going to say there, Goodell?
Oh, I don't know. I was going to say it'll be great when his wife decides she's going to use it as well. You'll be playing both sides of every argument they
That'll
have.
be great. That'll be great. She'll say, "I'm getting 2 cameos. Convince him that Feng Shui is real." Okay. I'll just do that. Yeah, I've had a lot of ones from children who are learning magic and stuck in the house and advice on magic and stuff like that. It's been really fun. I do them in 2 hunks a day, in the morning and the night, and I've been having a blast doing them. I thought it was going to be a pain in the ass, so I was going to only do them for like a week, but I'm liking them. And Piff's doing them too, so we're having fun. And Gilbert does them all the time, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
great.
And I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be a good thing, because I hired one. I hired Ruth Buzzy to do one for Glenn, and he
Right.
loved it. We loved it. So I guess it's an okay thing. What else we got? I'm doing the 4th draft of my novel. I got
What changed from 3 to 4?
Well, Robbie Libben is what changed. Robbie works for us, has been my friend for 45 years, and Robbie is a very well-educated, a very well-read, incredible editor. He's fabulous.
Oh, wow.
He edits all my books. And this time I sent it to him and said, I know you're really good at editing at a granular level, but I really want more help from you on this, because he reads a lot of detective fiction on my plot thing.
Oh,
And Robbie wrote back to me and said, you don't have the beginning, you don't have enough in the beginning, so the middle seems too fat. You've got to balance that. So write more about how your protagonist gets the original seed money to win the bet that he wins later. He said, you've covered that in a paragraph. It should be 3 chapters.
oh, wow.
And then he said, you're very, very happy with your editorializing on the bad guy. Why he's a bad guy, giving his motivations, how he thinks, how he believes. And that's all very interesting and destroys all the suspense you build up.
Oh, interesting.
Get that out of there, find another place for it. Earlier or later, but you can't have it there because we're building. And then he told me, I really like your protagonist going into the restaurant, stripping off all his clothes and dancing naked in front of the bad guy. I love that. But you have not explained why the bad guy doesn't just follow him out of the restaurant and kill him. You've got a very good bad guy. You've got a very good situation. It's perfect, except I don't believe he's not dead within 15 minutes of that whole event.
Oh, funny.
And he said, you've got to give me a reason why. And he gave me all these really good notes, really fabulous notes, to the point that I'd sent in draft 3 to the publisher saying, do you want to put this out? And then wrote a very, very rushed email saying, no. It's going to be so much better.
Stop.
So much better. I'm pretty, I've been working on this novel, this idea for, over 20 years. It's supposed to be a TV idea, this and that. And now I'm trying to do it as a book. And I think I might, with the help of Robbie, really get it down. So he also had other comments, and then said, but fix all this, and I'll tell you what's wrong with every paragraph.
I mean, I think it's as a creative person, I just don't have the personality at all. The meticulous line by line ability to go over somebody else's work like that. I think when you find someone like that, it just is like you must feel so lucky.
And he also knows what I can do.
Yeah,
Maybe the most important thing. When he says, give me 3 chapters here of how he gets the money, and contrast that with after he's got the money, he knows I'm going to be able to bang that out and love it.
right. Yeah.
So he knows where my skills are.
You don't hear 3 chapters and cry.
Yeah.
I thought I was done.
Yeah. But he gives me really what I have to do, and I go through and send it to him. He said, yep, that's fixed. I sent him that hunk. So it's coming along.
Very nice.
I'm really,
That's tough.
really happy with it, really thrilled.
I figured out something that I don't play political football on.
What's that?
That I actually have. I don't give a shit when a president plays golf.
Mm-hmm.
Many people do physical activities, go to the gym or do whatever to clear their head. I can't believe a president, even if he's playing golf, isn't thinking about shit while he's walking around and doing stuff.
Once again, the problem is everybody hypocrisy.
Yeah.
He was attacking Obama so seriously for that.
Yeah. But that thing, but I've decided that I won't let those stories bother me.
Right.
I
And that's because, that's what I always say is I don't believe in busting hypocrisy. When Obama played golf, it was fine. When Trump plays golf, it's fine, except he cheats and he charges us for it.
And if I were to then qualify the amount of thinking done by the average president golfing versus the thinking I think is being done by this president, I might have more nits to pick, but I'm not going to let it upset me.
Yeah, because Obama has a lot of things going on in his head, and Trump doesn't. There was that, you mentioned this, Godot.
The Atlantic. Yeah, there's an article in the
Atlantic. Did you read the article in the Atlantic?
I did read the article in the Atlantic, and the gist of it is maybe Trump's not a liar. Maybe he's just stupid. And I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me. We talk all the time about cock up before conspiracy, but I hadn't really thought. You know what? He just doesn't know.
Yeah.
We've kind of put this faith that the president is a smart guy, and so. Clearly smart people know that this is wrong, so he must be lying. Nope.
There's also this book called On Bullshit.
Yes.
Written by a professor. What's his name? Is Frankfurt?
Yeah.
Frankfurt, or maybe that's Rocky Horror Picture Show. But his name is something like that. He wrote this book called On Bullshit. And his point on the bullshit thing is that bullshit is not a lie. A lie cares about the truth. A lie cares about the truth and conceals it, contradicts it. Bullshit is just totally tangential to the truth. It's what
bluffing
pops into your head that you get to say. So when Trump says we're going to have a vaccine or we're testing more than anybody, he's not lying. I don't believe he's lying at all. I believe he's saying this is what I think people want to hear.
Yeah.
So he just says it. And he's always gotten away with saying anything that pops into his head. And the story that I remember that is so silly, I mean, we now have a person in charge of the country who lacks the skills to be in charge of the country and lacks the moral backbone to be in charge of the country. And this story is so minuscule, but it's so personal. We had to do a gangbang. We had to do a phone call for like 50 TV reporters. Okay.
Right.
It's going to be me, Trace Adkins, and Donald Trump, super genius. And before we did the call, which is going to be with 50 people, we had the flack, the PR person from NBC, talk to the three of us. Now, Trace and I were in the same room, and Trump was in his office, which was like one door over. And the flack person came on the phone and said, the ratings for Sunday night were not that good. They were not our best. So just don't mention the ratings. If they ask you about the ratings, just defer and say, the people get you that, and that's fine. But don't make any claims on the ratings. Just skip over that. And then you know what to do. This is the most money ever raised. And Penn and Trace have done better at the tasks than the other contestants we've ever had. They become good friends. This is a real competition, and the show is going to be live this Sunday. And Mr. Trump, that you want to hit really hard, that this is the season finale and it's live and you're really excited and you don't know who you're going to pick yet. And there's some final stuff and da-da-da-da. Hit all that, but don't mention the ratings. Okay? We all say, okay. We then go on the phone call. The flack says, and now I have from Celebrity Apprentice, I have Donald Trump, Penn, Trace Atkins. Donald Trump says, highest rated show this week for any show. We killed it Sunday night. We've had the highest ratings we've ever had. This is the highest rated season ever. First words out of his mouth. He does not know what the actual ratings are. He's not really lying. He just knows that he wants to start the press conference by saying it's the highest rated show. And he went back when he was doing running for president. He went back over and over and over again and said that Celebrity Apprentice was the highest rated show on TV at that time.
Right.
Never true.
No.
And by the way, the New York Times never busted him.
Yeah.
The New York Times maybe thought they had better things to worry about. But the week of his inauguration, he was tweeting that Arnold Schwarzenegger got bad ratings on Celebrity Apprentice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Week of his inauguration.
Yep.
Just stunning. And now he's arguing over how many people have died.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the idea that it's the idea that it's inflated, a disease that we didn't handle properly for 2 months, that it's under that is absolutely like,
Well, what he's dealing
it makes my head explode.
comorbidity, right? He's saying
Yeah.
if a 92-year-old woman dies of COVID, she was going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Just keep moving
Yeah.
that down. Everyone that died of COVID was going to die anyway. We don't know of any immortal people got COVID-19.
Like,
He only had 60 good years left.
I remember at movie night one time, this is before writing for you in any capacity, that I brought up, the reasons why they think bagels and bread and everything in New York tastes better is because of microscopic shrimp in the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went on Greg Gutfeld's show and you brought that up. And that was the only show that had an ombudsman.
Uh-huh.
And I remember I read one article on it. I don't remember the source of it. And all of a sudden you repeated on national television. And I was flop sweating watching your appearance on Greg Gutfeld. And then the ombudsman came on and be like, I wanted to bust you for bringing up tiny pink shrimp, but you're right. It is the thing. And I was more relieved than anyone watching Greg Gutfeld has ever been.
The ombudsman was the most brilliant idea ever.
Yes.
It was not on the 5, by the way. Make that very clear.
Yes.
It was on Red Eye.
Red Eye. Yeah.
And it was fabulous. I went to Town Hall in New York City right after the movie JFK came out. What was that? The 80s, 90s?
Yeah.
And they had a town hall meeting with Oliver Stone, Norman Mailer, Nora Ephron, and I think one other person.
Yeah.
They were all speaking about the movie JFK.
Yeah.
And that is where Oliver Stone made me laugh out loud and did not intend to. The joke that Brother Theodore did, where he said, all the great religious leaders are dead. Mohammed is dead. Moses is dead. Jesus is dead. Buddha is dead. And I'm not feeling so well myself.
Yeah.
So I forgot the name of the guy in JFK that the protagonist that Kevin Costner plays.
Oh, Warren, isn't it?
No, Warren,
No.
the other side. Anyway, whatever his name is, Oliver Stone actually said in that meeting on stage, he said, in the JFK assassination, the only people that matter are JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald, and me. And that's also where Norman Mailer said, sure, this movie JFK is bullshit. But the other side uses bullshit all the time, and the only way to fight it is with better bullshit.
Yeah.
And I sat there going, Is a person really saying that?
Yeah, that's terrible.
The
But
worst.
during that incredible evening at Town Hall, where I could not believe what they were saying on stage, could not believe it. They had done something very, very foolish. Very foolish. They had hired somebody with a bunch of books and an internet connection. Now, this must have been the 90s, where you could search things. And the person they hired was Hitch.
Oh no.
They hired Christopher Hitchens to sit at a desk while these people were talking and
The smartest guy on
check
earth.
all their facts.
Oh no.
What made this wonderful was they announced at the beginning. Now, I at that time did not know who Christopher Hitchens was. I certainly didn't know him personally. But I don't think there's ever been a time when I watched someone on stage and fell more in love. What made it better was he had the computer and he had all the books, and he didn't go to them that often. He just knew. And my favorite moment was when one of them said JFK was doing this, this, and this. He was accomplishing all of this. His presidency was so wonderful. They called it Camelot. And Christopher Hitchens said, they called it Camelot because the first lady saw a Broadway show by that name. But
I just had a crazy idea for a pundit
that?
show. I think we put you do it like any of the panel shows where there are 4 or 5 people up there, but we have paintball guns, and whenever they're lying, you just shoot them.
they used to, during the presidential debates, have the mic turn off after a certain amount of time. And then Reagan refused to allow that to happen, and they stopped doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why you've got chaos now.
The reason why I brought up the ombudsman thing is that I was thinking if I was the comfort person, if I was in the room for a presidential tirade and I worked for the president, I believe I would say to comfort him, with those numbers, some of these people are like 92-year-old people. It's not like we're getting the most healthiest people. We're going to die anyway. I would say something like that to comfort the person screaming in the room. And if that person were to go into another room and then tell that to reporters, I'd be like, no, not out loud. not to microphones, no.
But it doesn't make any difference.
Oh, I know that.
As a matter of fact, when Obama comes out against him, that just strengthens his base. He's getting to Obama.
What he said about hydrochloroquine and about who says it helps raise his poll numbers, I couldn't believe that was said out loud, and that was just not the thing that got him disqualified from being president of the United States forever.
He said that
when I say hydrochloroquine, my poll numbers go up, okay? And who said it was going to kill people? A Democratic organization. That's what he said out loud. That was his full defense. And I was like, that can't be.
How about when he said, we don't want to let that cruise ship dock because our numbers will go up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
These are the quiet parts out loud.
Yeah.
These are the parts that if you were in his inner circle, you're like, not to the cameras.
No, but it's even worse than that. Those are your private shames.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think Obama would say something like that even among his closest staff.
Yeah.
Because he hates himself if he's doing it. And he probably wasn't.
Right.
I mean, that's the big difference. It is just astonishing.
Yeah.
He may win again.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, it's been fascinating. It will be looked back on as fascinating. It feels horrible now. It will be looked on as fascinating to have someone who ran for re-election from day one of their presidency, who never stopped campaigning for president. There's never a moment where they clocked out of campaigning to be president.
And never, ever tried to be in any way even lip service to inclusive.
No.
You
It
know,
was just-
you know fully well that with Hillary Clinton, with her, whatever she said, what was it, bucket of despicables, whatever it was.
Yeah. Bath.
Was that?
Deplorables.
It was
Deplorables.
deplorables. You know,
And it was Elliot
Was that-
Ness. And it was Elliot Ness. Jim Garrison.
oh, Jim Garrison, yes. All that matters in this is Jim Garrison, JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald. Hillary Clinton would have, without a doubt, done everything she could to extend some gentleness to the people that she had insulted so badly.
Yes.
No doubt about that. And I half expected Trump to do it because I'm stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely expected something bad. And I cannot believe how much worse it is than what I expected.
Yeah, because now, you know, a lot of people are actually dying because of him. And I guess that's the thing. I mean, a lot of presidents kill a lot of people overseas. It's
Yeah.
just seeing Americans die because of incompetence is pretty startling.
Yeah.
It's a wake up.
But to wake up to what? Also, there's that really disturbing article.
The Atlantic article was about us. We're stupid. It wasn't that Trump is stupid. It's that we're stupid.
Also, you know, pandemics get over just because they get over.
Right.
It's not a vaccine. You know, the 1918, people just get sick of being too careful.
There's no vaccine yet.
And we are opening Vegas on June 4th. Someone asks, Kevin Hurley asks, I noticed that Ticketmaster is already selling tickets to your show. Are Penn and Teller really scheduled to perform in June? I don't know.
Does anyone ask Penn and Teller?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. And I will tell you that we are booked every weekend in the fall.
Yeah.
All over the country. Every Thursday, Friday. I don't know. I know the casino in Minnesota that was the first to open up with all the people waiting to get in. We're booked to play there in September. They're open. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, will we go in and do no audience participation and our crew wearing masks and the audience spread out? And I don't know. I don't know. You know, the fact is that Georgia, which opened up and has all this data on how it went, will not give the world the real data.
Right.
They're just saying no. No, but did you? No, I'm not going to tell you. No, but did the cases go up? I'm not going to tell you. But how many people went to the restaurant? We're not going to tell you. I mean, did people go to the movie? We're not going to tell you. I don't know. So, you know, we've run this incredible experiment that can give us a lot of information, except they won't give us the information. So we don't know.
I am curious
Yellow.
under different. Thank you. I'm curious under different leadership whether it could have been handled more pro-science and unified.
Yes. Don't wonder anymore. Yeah. That's one I can take. I got that one. When there'll be a vaccine, I don't know. When we'll open up, I don't know.
I don't know.
Or deaths, I don't know.
don't know.
How many more people will contract it? I don't know. Are children going to start getting that Kawasaki thing because of it? I don't know. Could this have been handled better by someone who's pro-science and someone thinking at the top? Yes. There's headroom. There's headroom there.
Yeah. Okay.
Could a lot of people been saved? I don't know. but there is headroom on top of how well Trump handled it. We have some room. We have some room there to be able to say, yeah, we could handle it better. And how about saying when Fauci says we don't know about the schools being opening, that answer is not acceptable. Light is both a wave and a particle. Sorry, that answer is not acceptable. No, but that's what the experiments is not acceptable answer. So that's what the can't be both. Pick one. No,
Yeah.
but yeah, June
It's got
3rd. No, June 4th. June 3rd is my daughter's birthday. June 4th, we will see the opening of Caesar's Palace, Flamingo, and the MGM. And restaurants are already opening. No schedule
Yes.
for the Rio. We don't know. When Penn and Teller are asked to perform, before we believe it's safe, will we go and do it? I don't know. I mean, I did not think on March 14th that it was right to ask people to gather, but I don't gamble and I don't drink, and I work in a casino where people gamble and drink, and I have not had moral problems with that. So at some level, I believe that people have a right to make their own decisions, and maybe I'm going to be tested on that. I'm certainly not going to be tested for the virus because the test is not but well, actually, I did a cameo for people who had done testing here in Vegas. They were doing 10,000 tests. They were doing a really good job, and you got it done.
Yeah. I was part of
Done wonderfully. So I don't want to make jokes about testing not being available because people in Vegas are doing a good job with it.
yeah.
But I don't know what the CDC did mixing up the two kinds of tests.
yeah.
But
According to the chat, Ticketmaster has never stopped selling tickets. They just cancel them 1 week at a time.
okay, well,
That makes more sense.
that's probably the real answer. Yeah. So get into that first show. I don't know. It's sure going to be weird.
It's gonna be weird for sure.
Going to be really weird. We got a lot of material that doesn't use audience members. You'll see air sacs with the handkerchief flying around. We've Look Simple, which is one of people's favorites. Handcuffs. 10 and 1, my fire reading monologue. Animal traps. A lot of
Gets
very
sawed into halves.
yeah, very good stuff that doesn't use the sawing in half. Yeah, we had got that one. So that's really good. That's really good. It's really funny. I was reading Ben Hart. Ben Hart's a fabulous magician in England. He's actually going to be on the next Try This at Home special. And Ben Hart's magic book, he has a amazing trick about the plague with patter by Cameo. I read it's a wonderful trick, and it's a 2-person trick, perfect for Penn and Teller. And I wrote to Teller and said, "It's a nice trick, isn't it? 2 on the nose." It's about the number of people dying after they're infected. He wrote it, way before COVID. 2 on the nose? I think maybe.
You guys should do the black light thing when people are coming in. Put a little bowl of pretend infection agent, and then halfway through the show, turn the black light on.
That's comedy.
That's funny.
I don't know. I don't know what anybody's thinking of. I will not be a pioneer on this.
Well, I'm hoping you guys still are working on your age-appropriate escape, because that also fits with no audience members.
No, there's an audience member tying us up.
Damn it.
But the age-appropriate escape, there might be a non-audience version of that.
Yeah.
To see, we're trying to look at. I was thinking stuff. Some stuff we could play the audience member, each of us,
Oh yeah.
holding a camera and checking things. So
Oh, that's fascinating.
We're playing around with it. It'll be crazy. I don't know. I don't know. And I've been doing all these things. We were very, very happy, very careful when we did the Try This at Home special. You probably noticed that we donated money from our salaries to the Caesars people who are working, but we did not anywhere in our special tell other people to donate money, nor did we tell people to stay home. We gave no advice on anything. Those shows that did give advice, I thought were great, but I didn't think that the audience wanted Penn and Teller to make comments about COVID. So we talk about staying at home, and one of the magicians wears a mask, but we're really, really, really light on that. And I did all these interviews on the show, and during one of the interviews, someone said something along the lines of, "We're all in this together." And I said, well, we're kind of not. Because although the virus is completely democratic in who it attacks, people are still not in the same situation. I'm in a better situation than a lot of other people, much better. And I get a little uncomfortable when celebrities talk about how we're all suffering the same amount and that we're all in the same situation and here's what you should do. Because I am not in the same situation as someone working in a pork processing plant. I'm simply not. And I'm not in the same situation as police, grocery store stockers, delivery people. I'm not in the same situation. So in a sense, globally, we are all worried about the same virus, but how it affects us is very, very different. And I was feeling like a dipshit because I was saying that every time, and it sounded a little bit like I was being too tight ass and too weird and maybe even reverse sanctimonious or something. And several people wrote in on Twitter and stuff and said, thank you for doing that different. So I felt somewhat vindicated in my dipshittiness that I did that. But
I actually just paid for a Cameo that makes you recant everything you just said.
Good. Well, I'll be doing that right after I finish this show. And I'm finishing this show right now, Matt, because that was Penn Sunday School.
That was Penn Sunday
Cha-cha-cha.
School, and to our
You
listening
become-
ears, all nature sang and round us rang the music of the spheres. And
We have Sunday School. Bigger next week. We also have how not to die, how not to die, and
That was Penn Sunday School. That was Penn Sunday School.
YouTube shows of Penn Sunday School you want to hear. And we love you.
Thanks, everybody.
We need some titles.
Canada.